Good morning, Millennial Morticians. Happy Wednesday morning. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of this incredible podcast. I don't know where you're located at in the U.S., but wherever you are, I hope you guys are staying warm and staying safe. I know here in Virginia we have a possible winter storm, so for all my Virginia folks, hopefully you stay warm, stay off the roads, and spend this time with your family. The title of today's episode, even during this inclement weather, is entitled A Harvest for Your Seed. A Harvest for Your Seed. I got the title for today's episode, having a casual, cordial conversation with one of my friends, and we were talking about life and doing the right thing and just trying to be better individuals and better people. And I got the title because I really stopped and thought about all the times that people and friends and people I was connected with, how they've helped me out in life, how I've helped them, how they've empowered me to really reach my potential and reach my dreams. And the reality of that comes from basically from sowing a seed into somebody, from changing someone's life, from trying to have an impact on somebody's life, making a difference wherever you are, and really trying to get other people to do that same thing and model your difference making. And so what I realized is after a while, if you get good and you're effective at sowing seeds and changing lives and making an impact in your funeral home and in your business, you'll get a harvest. You'll get a return on that investment because you were willing to stop, listen, and ask for help and reach out and ask for somebody else's opinion and somebody else's ideas. And the problem with us now, and sometimes within our profession, is we're scared to ask for help. We're scared to talk to our competition. We're scared to talk to people in the directors boards and the embalmers boards and all these fancy organizations. We have all these titles from. We get all these titles from, and we're just so quick to make a decision with whatever they go with instead of really trying to ask people, hey, can you take time out of your day, out of your week? Are you willing to pour into me? Are you willing to sow into me and what I'm trying to do? And that goes back to us as a generation, as a people. We're scared to ask for help. We're scared to ask for things that we need. And it's critical and it's important that you do that. And the earlier and the faster you do that, the better chances you'll have in your future in getting the help that you need and really making the impact that you want to make. The whole point of this journey, the whole point of the challenges in mortuary school and in life and in funeral directing and embalming is that it's not easy. It's really, really challenging. And so you're going to have to connect with different types of people, different friend groups, different people in your mortuary school, maybe it's your funeral home owner, to really get an idea of what you want to do and what you're trying to accomplish. And don't let anyone steal your seeds. And what I mean by that is the people who are in your corner, rooting you on, cheering you on, not everybody is really for you. And you could be making the biggest difference, the biggest change, and that person comes right back behind you and picks that seed up right out of the ground, and you wouldn't even notice or you wouldn't even know it happened to you. And so the whole point of getting a harvest for your seed is really stopping and saying, have I made the right decisions, the right investments with my time, with my money, with my relationships, and with my friendships? And what I found is a lot of times, sometimes what we'll do is we'll get so busy, we'll have so much homework or so many assignments or just a crazy week at the funeral home, and we forget to water ourselves. And what I mean by that is we're not the best at keeping the gifts we have and the seeds we planted for our future and the things we want to do alive because we're so worked up, we're so tired, we're so exhausted from the week and whatever's going on in our lives that we don't have time to harvest and to help grow and plant the things that we want to do in our lives because there's just so much going on in our lives. And so a lot of us who are expecting a harvest in our lives and in our businesses and in our industries, we planted those seeds, but we haven't seen any return on our investment. We haven't seen any harvest from it. And it's because we're forgetting to water and nurture our gifts. And the only way you can do that is by investing in yourself and putting yourself first and allowing yourself to be a vessel to serve other people and realize that whatever you're in, whatever you're doing, it's not just about you. It's about them and the people. And whenever people ask me about funeral services in the industry, and I know what we do is fascinating and interesting and all of these other words, I want you to understand that number one, first and foremost, but above anything else, this business is a people business and a service business. And you have to have a great service model because you want to keep your customers not only happy and satisfied, but coming back to you. But the only way you can do that is if you're intentional about the connections you're making in your community and the impact you're trying to have in your community. And so when you don't harvest everything that you have, you mismanage the moments and opportunities that you could have used to better the life of someone else. And you'll hear me say this a lot, but I truly and firmly believe in this, and that's you don't know who's counting on you to make the difference in their life. And somebody out there is waiting on you to be the one to make the change, to make the difference, to open the facility, to go to the school, to do hit these different goals. And somebody else's destiny is dependent on you being where you're supposed to be at the right time. And so I think one of the challenges we're going to face this year and the things that you're going to see this year as the year unfolds, as things progress, as people move further and deeper into whatever there is that they're doing, is that you're going to see a lot of people harvesting the stuff that they planted, but they're not going to know what to do with the overflow of what was planted. And what I mean by that is there's going to be people out there that are going to harvest and they're going to have stuff left over. And so I want to make sure that you guys, the audience, the millennial morticians out there, we have to manage our overflow well and do it the right way and not waste resources, time, and money on things that aren't going to take us to that next level. And the generations before us have mastered collecting, but they haven't really mastered the overflow part. What do you do when you have excess? And the truth of the matter is you don't have to spend it. You can save it, but are you going to do something that's going to put you in a better situation or in a better position to be successful in the future than you were in that moment? And I feel like a lot of times we just live and go through life in the moment, day by day, instead of thinking about the future and what could happen and what will happen. And even in an industry like ours, where we think people are the most prepared or they're ready for this and that, that's not always the case. And people aren't always ready for what you think they're ready for, which is why you have to plan. And I know our industry, we're pushing pre-arrangements and pre-planning funerals and people paying in advance and all those other things. But all of that is useless if the funeral home itself doesn't know what to do with the overflow. And that overflow can be used to do small things. I mean, if you have a family that's maybe $500 short from paying their funeral bill from wherever, the service you did for them, you cover that. Or maybe they don't have enough money for a casket spray, you're covering that. And I'm not saying that we should be an industry of giving stuff away for free, but I want us to be an industry where people can actually live, feel, and breathe the impact that we're making. And I think after COVID, we really kind of relaxed on us making such a bold and big impact out there on the world. And that's what sets you apart. What sets you apart is the impact that you make. We're always going to be in business. We're always going to have clients to serve. We're always going to have families. People are always going to pass on and things of that nature. And so I want us to be great stewards of the overflow instead of feeling like we have to hold on to every little thing that we have um, in this life, especially knowing that this life isn't promised, it isn't guaranteed. You don't know when your tomorrow is. I don't know when my tomorrow is. And so when you put yourself in alignment with the right people in the right places, and you don't put yourself in areas where your seeds could get stolen, misharvested, or even mismanaged, you become the sharpest millennial mortician version of yourself that you can be. And that exceeds outside of the funeral home. That's in your personal life. That's in your personal home. And so take the gifts that you have, take the seeds you have, and take the harvest you have, and do something with it. Don't let it go to waste. And guys, I want you to realize something. There's somebody somewhere in the world that wish they had what you have right now. And they would take that thing and actually do something and create something and build something with it if they could, if they had a chance. And my big thing for you guys, I want you to realize that some people are just waiting on a chance. They're just waiting on an opportunity, on a second to get a little bit of sunlight in their life to help that seed grow. And that's truly what this podcast is. This podcast is that little bit of sunlight that you need to help your seed get to that next level in your growth, in your personal growth, in your personal development. So this week, when you meet with your funeral home, you meet with your owner, you guys get together as a team. Maybe you guys watch this podcast every week together for the brief 10 minutes that we do it. Ask yourself, are we ready for the harvest? Are you ready to receive the harvest for your seed that's out there for you? Well, guys, I'm Jaden Folks, the Millennial Mortician. This is the podcast that engraves. You guys stay safe out there. I look forward to hearing about your comments on this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and tune in on every major platform. You guys have a blessed one, and stay warm. See you guys.